motivated to win them. You crave the person. You become obsessed with thinking about them.
Fisher and Aaron are eager to discover if these feelings of romantic love are different from the feelings of sexual arousal. To find out, they analyze their fMRI data, showing blood flow through the brains of students who are self-confessedly deeply in love. They discover that a region of the brain, known as the caudate nucleus, appears to be activated when a person falls in love. The caudate is part of the brain's complex reward system. It appears that being in love affects the brain in much the same way as using certain illegal stimulant drugs.
The response we see in the brain when a person looks at their beloved, who is intensely, passionately in love with them, is very much like the response to having cocaine.
The brain areas concerned have a high concentration of receptors for the hormone dopamine. Dopamine is a neurotransmitter that is involved in the control of fine motor coordination, motivation, physical energy, short-term memory, and emotions such as sexual desire.
Dopamine is one of the body's primary feel-good chemicals.
Elevated levels of dopamine produce extremely focused attention and unwavering motivation, the very characteristics of romantic love.
It's what we call a reward response, a dopamine system response. Human beings seem to be wired to have a particular response to very intense reward. And one of the great examples is falling in love and having it reciprocated.
Heightened dopamine levels explain why love-stricken men and women become so dependent on their relationship and why they crave to be with their partner. For Fisher, this desire to focus on just one individual makes perfect evolutionary sense.
This brain system evolved to become triggered, and so that you could have an incredible amount of energy, focus your attention on somebody, be highly motivated to win them, and stay together at least long enough to conceive a child.
The somewhat unromantic truth is that romantic love is born out of the evolutionary success of couples wanting enough sex with each other to get the female pregnant. The chemicals flooding our brain during the early stages of love are so powerful that it's little wonder that love is frequently compared to an addiction. And just like the craving for illicit drugs, love can make people do crazy, sometimes dangerous things.
And it's more powerful than the sex drive. I mean, if you ask somebody to go to bed with you and they reject you, you don't kill yourself. People kill themselves or kill somebody else if they are rejected in love.
Romantic love remains a universal experience, deeply woven into the fabric of the human brain.
Everywhere in the world, people live for love, die for love, sing for love, dance for love, are happy in love.
But Fisher doesn't think that dopamine-fueled romantic love on its own can keep couples together for long.
That was, to me,
romantic love is very metabolically expensive. I mean, you walk all night, you talk till dawn, you make love to the person till noon. It would be very unadaptive for the human animal to be going constantly in a state of high energy.
Our success as a species depends on men and women sticking together long enough to raise their young. To try and make sure this happens, our bodies bombard our brains with yet more sexual hormones. A chemical arsenal that keeps us together long after the fire of romantic love has finally flickered out. Naked Science next asks one of the most provocative questions in evolutionary science. Can we be faithful to one partner? Are we biologically predestined to cheat? A study of nature's secret weapons of love shows how we are genetically programmed to instantly react to the possibilities of a lustful sexual adventure, and how our brains feed us a heady brew of powerful drugs to induce the ecstasy of falling in love. But once we've chosen our mate and fallen in love, can we stay together? Or are humans biologically programmed to cheat? 97% of all mammals are not monogamous. So how can we stay together in the face of so many options? John Gonzaga is a psychologist at UCLA in Southern California. Gonzaga's studies show that true love really can bind people together in a monogamous relationship.
I think that evolution has given us the capacity to be committed, but it's complicated because it's not just we either are